So when Radio Lollipop first started, we were working in a hospital which actually didn't have any oncology unit. It didn't actually have the death rates and scenarios that you get in more acute hospitals around the country. And what that meant was actually we were dealing with kids that became frequent flyers. We were dealing with children that actually got better and went home. And as we grew Lollipop and went to our second Lollipop, which is at Birmingham Children's Hospital, we were losing a lot of volunteers after about 6 or 7 months, and we really couldn't work out why until we realised that we were working in a hospital that had cancer patients and children died. And we had no system, no intelligence and no capacity to actually build resilience into our teams to support those volunteers. So that one incident really started to make us think about what is it we need to do for our volunteers, how do we build capacity within that group, and how do we actually build some resilience for them so that they could actually continue to come back, and how do we support them and grow the organisation.
So I went regularly to the heart and lung ward, and it was Holden ward in Manchester when I was volunteering there. And this young boy was 6 at the time, and he was classed as my boyfriend, and he used to literally wait outside the studio for me, and we'd go down to the ward and we'd do whatever. And he actually taught me how to play chess, you know. So we were playing chess, and I, of course, was just playing to make the moves. I didn't have any strategy, you know, anything like that. Anyway, it ended up that he was clearly going to win, and he just folded up the board and said, you know, I can't do it. So he wouldn't allow me to lose, you know, this 6-year-old little chap. Anyway, he was just really gorgeous. He was very, very poorly, and in the latter days of him being alive, he said to me, my mum told me that somebody from Radio Lollipop died. And I said, oh, well, I don't know about that. And he said, oh yeah, she did. And he said, that's a good thing. But my take on that was, you know, he was preparing himself for what was to come. And actually knowing that Radio Lollipop was there was quite amazing. Anyway, it ended up that obviously he passed away. And I was absolutely devastated. You know, he was my little buddy that I used to go and see every week. And I was living with my parents at the time. And I was just heartbroken, just could not stop crying. And my mum was saying, you know, why do you do this? You know, why? You know, don't do this. Because obviously she was upset that I was upset. And I said, no. She said, don't go in, don't do it. And I said, no, you know, I'm going back in. And she said, why? I said, because I'll be all right, I'll just get rid of it. And I said, because those last few months of his life, you know, we've really made a difference. So let's just go and carry on making a difference. Another thing that was really amazing is that his mother was expecting another child, and he'd named his little brother, because he knew it was a boy, James. So sure enough, obviously I was back on the wards, and months down the line, so go down to the same ward, and this is really amazing. The nursing staff said, Sally, come and have a look. And there was this little tiny baby, and it was just the image of a little chap who passed away, was born, and just amazing. And I'm glad to say I've never seen him since, because, you know, he was good and healthy and brilliant. So yeah, that's my story.
Over the last 23 years in my engagement with Lollipop, I've never seen anything but the most exceptional professionalism and commitment from everybody involved. And that's really at the front line through management team and even trustees for that matter. And I think it's that approach, that sort of consistent value of professionalism and this rare and remarkable confidence with which the volunteers approach families, that they engage with the children and in fact their parents often as well, that I think puts together an opportunity in that patient's life and that family's life that becomes a wonderful respite, a distraction, perhaps a real engagement back in the grounded world that too often is left behind for children and families in hospital.
Basically my son, 4.5, 5, was taken into intensive care, a thing called tracheitis. You get a ventilator put in. Being concerned parents, obviously, you stayed in the hospital, you didn't leave him. I used to come in at night and kind of stay for 12, 13 hours at night. Before, like say my wife would go away, I would go down to the shop, maybe get a bottle of juice and some eatables and maybe a paper. And there was a Radio Lollipop studio next door, so obviously the noise and the music, you hear it and the kind of hilarity coming out of it. So I was going to have a wee look. I got to know them over for a few days, and you know, it's kind of only non-medical voice that you maybe hear in your time in the hospital, because you've got people doing obs, all sorts of things going on, they're changing this, changing that. Everybody's talking about your son, everybody's talking about this, and even when you go home, people are phoning you up, how is he, how's this? Whereas they weren't interested in that side. They just basically, hi, how are you, how's your day been? Talk about sport, talk about weather. It was just like a total release from what you're actually doing, the experience you're having as a parent, as a concerned parent in the hospital. And that was really my first instance of coming across Radio Lollipop.
This is a bit of a privileged space that we get to visit, both as professional carers in the sense of employees within healthcare organisations, but perhaps even more particularly in a way for volunteers that come in. There's little doubt that no matter what the problem, no matter how big or small, that space for the parents and the child, it's often one of great anxiety and often despair and uncertainty. And I think it's very special, in some ways sacred space that we get to visit. They have to live there. I think approaching, not pretending that we can walk in their shoes, but having some sense of what they're about, and sharing that common humanity for that time. We get to leave it, I think, is a rare privilege.
In the course of my work, I see this teenage girl who's very, very physically and mentally disabled. When I approach her bed, she always has a wide grin for me, but we're limited as to what we can do with her. So my partner and I, we sing songs, every song we can think of, every nursery rhyme. And on this particular occasion, it was before Christmas, and we were singing When Santa Got Stuck Up the Chimney, and the smile got wider when it came to the sneezing bit. And then we sang Wind the Bobbin Up, and there's a line at the end that says, flap my wings and away I fly. So when we sang it, she suddenly chuckled out loud, which amazed me because I'd never heard her make a sound. I never heard her cry, I never heard her try to speak. Needless to say, we sang the song over again and again, just for the pleasure of hearing her chuckle. And it was amazing. I can't forget it. I often think about it in the weeks. And I hope I see her again and hear that chuckle again.
I could never empathise fully with these people because I don't know what they're going through. I know what I went through. It wasn't a nice feeling. And if we can do anything, just to maybe just make it a wee bit easier for them, just to maybe help them out a bit through probably one of the worst times as a parent, as a young parent. And I mean, your whole world is totally collapsed around about you when something like that happens. If you can just maybe think a wee bit and show a wee bit of concern for them, and just, again, just a voice to talk to. Just a voice to talk to, just to break the monotony, the medical side. Sibling-wise, what we'll find is that if the kids are there, unfortunately, maybe the brother or sister that's well and isn't ill, maybe get a wee bit neglected, not through any bad reason, but just because the parents are so concerned and focused on the child that's in hospital ill. We would maybe take the sibling away, so there's various uses we have. Again, a lot of times parents just come down just for a chat, it's just a wee soundbite, just to have a chat with somebody, and just a bit of normality, send them their way. And even if we do go up maybe with the child for 10, 15 minutes, let's that parent go away and get that wee break, maybe a couple of phone calls home, grab a bite of tea, grab a coffee. It's a wonderful thing to be able to do that, and it's a privilege to be in a position to be able to go and help them out in that situation in their life.
So I think volunteering nowadays is a two-way street. It's what do I get out of it as well as what do I put in it. So what's in it for me? And if we get that right, we can offer an individual an experience that's worth having and unique. They can then make a unique and invaluable contribution to people in need who are our kids in hospital in our case, and be part of a much bigger team that can actually be flexible around meeting the needs of the patients and their families.